can just assume value. Now think of it this way. Value basically prompts you to be more attractive. All right, think about that, guys. How does value, knowing that you have value, how does it prompt you to be more attractive? Well, here's the most basic of basic distinctions. Really key this in. This is an important one. The most basic distinction that I can come up with is when you know that you have value, you will tend to be outside of your head. And when you don't think that you have value, you will tend to be inside your head. All right? Outside your head, inside your head. Another way that we call that, another expression, when you know that you have value and you have nothing to be concerned about in this world, you tend to be in the moment. When you don't believe that you have value, you tend to be what's called micromanaging. All right? So, in your head and in the moment, outside your head and in the moment, in your head and micromanaging. What an irony! What an irony! When you have value, you'll naturally behave in ways that just are in alignment with that. But when you need it most, to actually act confident, you will start thinking about it. Oh, how can I act confident? How can I make these people like me? Is that good enough? Is that good enough what I said? And how attractive is that? That's not going to attract anybody. That's only going to turn girls off. It's going to make you contrived. It's going to make you unnatural. All right? That is why you want to be outside your head and in the moment. So, some symptoms. When you're outside your head, you are enjoying yourself, acting in the moment, letting your real personality come out, saying what's on your mind, being unaffected by how other people react, being detached from the outcome of any one particular interaction, taking things as they come. You guys ever heard the expression, taking things as they come? Fucking fantastic. All right? Being fully present to what's going on around you and assuming and expecting that everyone is your friend. That's called in the moment, outside your head. What about when you're in your head? Okay? When you're in your head, you are not enjoying the moment for what it is. Think about that. You're not enjoying the moment for what it is, and you're always saying to yourself, look, here's the key. Here is the key, the underlying key to all of this. How can I make this moment better? That's the key right there. You're like, I'm not happy with the way things are. Like, I'm not comfortable with my social status here. How can I make things better? How can I get more status? How can I get more liked? How can I get more acceptance? How can I get more validation? That's when you go in your head. How can I make the moment better, not just enjoying it for what it is? Makes you feel unnatural, forced, needy, contrived. When you're in your head, what are the symptoms? Trying to change your personality specifically to make people like you. Feeling flustered by all the social things that you think you need to be doing. Being emotionally affected by other people's reactions. Feeling like some particular interaction has to work or you might not get another chance. That is huge, by the way. Feeling like this has to work or I won't get another chance of a girl with this quality for a while. Oh my God, like how to not get the girl 101. Trying to think, oh, horrible. Oh, like I'm like wanting to vomit all over my screen when reading this. Trying to think a step ahead and analyze how everyone will respond to you. Being too stuck in your mind to really even pay attention to what's going on around you. And feeling like you're being judged. Look, you want to know the best way to make people like you? It's the best way. This is the key. I've got the key for you guys. This is it. If you could just do this, you've got it. Just express your personality freely and let the chips fall where they may. That's the number one way to make people like you. Not everyone's going to like you. Some people are going to hate you, right? There's going to be haters when you do that. A lot of people hate it when someone can express their personality freely and not care because there's envy there. But the point is, if you can just express your personality freely and let the chips fall where they may, the majority of the time, that's going to be in your best interest. That's what's going to be the most attractive, both to women and to people in general. All right? And when I say people in general, that's because, of course, a guy who's a good people person is naturally going to be good with women most of the time. Don't try to influence it. Look, I want you guys to think about this almost like a religion. It implies that you're secure with who you are and that you probably have the value to back it up. All right? Think about that. Express your personality freely and let the chips fall where they may. What does it imply? You're cool with who you are, and you probably have the value to back it up. Isn't that interesting? It's by trying less and just expressing yourself and being you, you're actually communicating more value than if you're trying to communicate value. Isn't that funny? Right? It's a very Taoist concept, right? In action.
Could you repeat that, please?
Which part?
Well, the last one about the last sentence you say about when you're trying to add value, you're basically not, but when you're not.
Yeah, because you're like, this is like most guys. Okay, there's the girl. Eye contact. Voice. Funny lines. Hey. Right? Okay? That's the, and then, okay, got to do this, right? Then they're going into their head, like, where's my next piece? Where's my next line? Right? They're going into their head. Okay? What you'll find when you start using this kind of way of doing things is that anytime you go into your head to try to impress, you lose the girl. When you just chill, stay outside your head and enjoy the moment, it's like a magnet, and it just draws her towards you. So really try to remember that one. In fact, what I just said there, that little bit that I just said there where I said, when you really get into this, anytime that you go into your head, you find that you repel the girl, and when you just stay outside of your head, even if what you're saying is not as intelligent as if you would have gone into your head to fish it out, you'll still hold more attraction. And when you start to notice this, it's really going to mess with your head. Because you're going to be talking to the girl, and you're just saying nonsense, and she's completely into it. And then you think of and then she'll say something that will trigger your association in your mind of some cool thing that you want to say. But as soon as you have to you're like, oh, what's that really cool thing that I can do to prove myself and impress her? And as soon as you go into your head to try to impress her, even though what you said was impressive, she'll go, oh, that's really cool. Anyway, it was nice to meet you, right? Boom, later, okay? And you'll see that. You'll start to notice it. And it took me after I noticed it, it took me probably 3 months to even admit to myself that was going on. And then maybe another year to stop that habit of going into my head to try to drop my little smart, clever things, all right? So it does take time. But you know what's cool? When you actually can stop being in that mode where you're always trying to impress the person, even in subtle ways, even if you know not to quote-unquote qualify yourself, just stop subtly trying to impress people, you can just enjoy being with them. You can just enjoy this very refreshing kind of vibe. And because so few guys are capable of doing that, women will very, very often tend to find that very attractive because it's conveying. Look, think of it this way. Say that you've got some impressive thing, right? You make a lot of money, or you climb some cool mountain, or just whatever it is that you're trying to think of, okay? And then you're with the girl. What if rather than mentioning that, maybe you just save that one, okay? Maybe save it for deeper in the relationship, whatever. And just, if it comes out, it comes out, all right? Don't get me wrong. Stuff comes out, right? Stuff that's impressive that you did comes out. It will come out. But if you're having to, break the vibe and kind of, go into your head to try to seek a reaction, what you're going to find is you would have been better off just to be chill. Because what is it communicating if you could have just stayed outside your head and vibed? You're communicating so many more powerful qualities. The qualities that you're going to be communicating when you just vibe, it says, showing that you probably have the value to back it up. Probably that, you have a lot of friends in this world that you don't even need anymore, but maybe you're just enjoying her company. You're just enjoying talking to her, but you've got 5 girls at home and you don't even need anything, and therefore you're not even trying, right? And what you're sub-communicating is so much more powerful when you can just be in the moment and allow the words to arise and just sort of come out. You guys don't need to understand that, by the way. You'll understand that by the end of the 3rd day, probably. This is the first day. We'll go in really in-depth with what I'm talking about soon enough.